choose to eat. And joining us now is Professor Keith Ayoob, Emeritus Professor from the Albert Einstein School of Medicine in New York, and he's going to tell us more about it. Good evening, Professor. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, and I hope I say this right. Is Sena Tadashpa? Happy New Year.
Thank you very much for trying. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Oh, well, I tried, but it's new language anyway.
We're starting, we're finishing off the year with very positive news about the vaccines. Is there something that can be credible and tangible about how we can boost our immunity by what we choose to eat?
There are things. I want to clarify probably one point that's really important. We always think about boosting the immunity, but what you really want to do is be as supportive as possible of the immune system with food. Boosting it or overcharging it is actually a negative thing, because then you start to recognize then you get into autoimmunity. That's a bad thing. So what we want to do is be as supportive of our immune system with our diet as we can. And there are things that we can do to do that. And they're very simple. One of the things that I actually liked seeing once the shelter in place happened here in the States is that people started to really go back to some basic but some very good solid foods. There was an uptick in, for example, fruits and vegetables, and people also started to appreciate the value of foods like dry beans. I mean, bean sales went through the roof, and that really was good. My only concern was that you have a lot of novice cooks all of a sudden starting to have to get back into the kitchen and roll up their sleeves, and I think they didn't know what to do with a lot of all these fresh foods and dry beans and things. So there are a lot of YouTube instructional videos going on. But one of the things that people could do as much as possible is eat as many fruits and vegetables as you can. They don't all have to be fresh, Leah. Everybody thinks that fresh is best, and we need to separate culinary preferences from sort of the nutritional facts. If what you have, if what you have access to is, frozen and canned, that may be what you need to get, and that's perfectly fine. As a matter of fact, frozen vegetables and fruits are often even essentially fresher than fresh ones, because at least here in the States, they're often frozen right out in the field. And as soon as they're picked, and they are really preserved right then and there, as opposed to that bunch of broccoli that might be several days old by the time you get it and bring it home, and it might be several more days before you actually cook it. So, fresh, if you like it, that's great, and you can afford it. But don't be shy about having frozen vegetables in your freezer or even canned. And there was a big increase in canned vegetables and fruits because of the pandemic, and everybody had to shelter in place and not go out. And a lot of people did not want to go out into a supermarket where they would be exposed to other people. So there was a lot of that. I want to really reassure people that it's important to eat fruits and vegetables in whatever form you can and whatever form you actually will. The other thing that people kind of forget about is some of their everyday beverages. Even coffee, did you know, is absolutely loaded with antioxidants. It's one of the largest sources of antioxidants that we take in because we drink coffee and tea regularly. So coffee and tea have been really strongly associated with high antioxidant activity and anti-inflammatory properties. So those are very good things to do. The other thing that's not necessarily nutrition related, but it's a really good boost to the immune system and to the well-being, is getting out and moving. Because even though we are sheltering in place in many areas of the world, it doesn't mean we can't go out for a walk. And that is so important. Being stuck inside four walls is not only not such a great thing for your mental health if it continues, but it's also not good for your physical health. And gyms may have closed down in many areas, but as long as you've got sneakers, you can get out and walk. And actually, that's what I did for the first several months of the pandemic, because I'm a regular gym goer and things every morning, but I wanted to keep the habit going once all of the gyms closed. And I needed the emotional kind of a mood lift, because that's really important for your immune system as well.
Sure,
You know,
sure.
mental health brings physical health.
What about,
So
what are your comments about 2021 being named the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables?
oh, I love that. I actually, when I saw that happening, I thought it was great. And you know, we just this week in the United States issued our 2020 dietary guidelines for Americans, which isn't a prescription, but it is something that is sort of used as a guideline for many large feeding programs, such as the military and school meal programs, et cetera. And it is a general guideline for many people about how to eat. And 2021 is not only the year of fruits and vegetables, hallelujah. And in the dietary guidelines, we mentioned what was mentioned specifically as an example of a healthy eating pattern was the Mediterranean diet. And I can't think of any place more Mediterranean than Malta, surrounded all by the Mediterranean Sea. So that's a diet that's also very, very, very focused on plenty of fruits and vegetables. So the idea of eating more fruits and vegetables couldn't be better timed for this, sort of recovering from this pandemic. And it's a continuation of really what's been said for many, many years. And, you know, Leah, as many times and as many years as we've said, eat more fruits and vegetables, it's amazing how fruit and vegetable consumption has been flat. So I hope making 2021 the year of fruits and vegetables really gets people thinking about the value of what they contain. Most fruits and vegetables are loaded with antioxidants. They have anti-inflammatory properties. There's no bad side to it. And that's why whenever I've advised somebody about a diet, people would say, well, you know, how many vegetables and how many fruits should I eat? They say, 2 cups, 3 cups, and I just say, I don't even count those calories. It's like, just eat as many as you can get your hands on, and as many as you can handle, and make it a rule that at each meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, there is a fruit or a vegetable, or maybe both.
Thank you.
And if
Thank
you
you. Thank you. Just to close off very briefly, what are your thoughts of nutrition, good nutrition, in relation to the fight against coronavirus?
A good, healthy body has to include fruits and vegetables, and a good, healthy body will help you be in a better position to fight this virus. Somebody who has a history of a poor diet, and I've seen children with malnutrition. That's not a good prognosis for having to deal with coronavirus. So the healthier you are, should you contract the virus, and the fewer health risks you have, particularly fewer chronic problems like diabetes, hypertension, those kinds of chronic maladies. The fewer of those and the lower your risk for those, the more likely you are to be able to fight off coronavirus with minimal complications. So a healthy diet is essential.
Thank you very much. New Year resolution for many of us, I think. Thank you very much, Professor Ayoob.
Thank you. What I hope we keep.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you. And we've actually come to the end of our program today. I wish you all a Happy New Year. And I hope you found this program interesting. I'll be with you again next week at the same time. Stay with us, because we're going to be joined by Dr. Francis